I'm someone who prefers 3D platformers to their 2D counterparts. I love games like Mario Odyssey or A Hat in Time, but aside from Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, there hasn't been a 2D platformer that's fully grabbed me. That was until we saw the trailer for Super Mario Wonder earlier this year. Its style and level design immediately stood out to me in a way other similar games just didn't with how creative and weird it was. The new power-ups, its changes to the usual 2D formula, and the wonder effects actually made me want to play the game, and that's not a feeling I've had with a platformer like this in a while. And I'm happy to say that I was right to feel this way, because Super Mario Wonder is a really charming and incredibly fun time. Heck, in many respects, I'd go as far as to say that it's almost perfect, but we'll get more into that later. Normally, a modern 2D Mario would have the same old plot of you trying to save Peach from Bowser as Mario and friends, but this time around, we actually get a story with a bit more to it than usual. After being invited to the Flower Kingdom by Prince Florian, Bowser shows up to crash the party, but after touching one of the kingdom's wonder flowers, he's fused with the prince's castle. Instead of kidnapping Peach, Bowser's goal is to charge up enough wonder energy to create a massive wonder. And while he doesn't specify what this entails exactly, it's Bowser we're talking about here. There's no way it's good. So, Mario and friends' goal, with the help of Prince Florian, is to collect 6 royal wonder seeds from across the kingdom in order to reach Castle Bowser and stop him from doing whatever it is he's planning. I know this doesn't sound like much, but the game's extra bits of story and even writing make the whole thing feel more like a proper adventure compared to what we usually get from modern 2D Mario. It adds so much more to the experience when we have somebody actually commenting on the world in some way and who also makes conversation with the residents. A few worlds even have their own individual stories going on outside of Bowser, and heck, we also have a narrator who chimes in after you get the royal seed for that world like in Paper Mario. I also just love how charming and pretty the whole game is. Each world looks great and has plenty of extra little details to make them stand out thanks to the 3D world-style hub. Let me tell you, the writing for Bowser is as great as ever, but I also loved the writing for all of the flowers in each level. They always had something fun to say, and I really enjoyed how they reacted to changes in the level and even your own actions. Honestly, what I love the most about Super Mario Wonder, though, is that in many ways, it feels like what happens when you somehow manage to convert a 3D Mario game into a 2D one, which, thankfully for me, also applies to the gameplay and level design. Gameplay-wise, Super Mario Wonder, for the most part, plays about what you would expect. By using one of a whopping 12 characters, you'll be running and jumping through levels in each world, with your most basic goal being to reach the flag at the end. Unlike in previous games though, the only characters who play any differently are the Yoshis and Nabbit, who are immune to damage, can't use power-ups, and in the case with the former, have a special flutter jump for extra height and a tongue attack. Now with that being said though, let's talk about the changes and additions Super Mario Wonder makes for the 2D formula, because let me tell ya, these make me very happy. First off, in a change that's been a long time coming, the level timer in previous games has been completely axed, which means now you have no need to rush through a stage and can take as much time as you like. This also gives each level more of an emphasis on exploration, which honestly makes them more interesting for me. Taking some inspiration from Odyssey though, we now have purple coins to collect, which, unlike the normal coins, are useful for more than just extra lives. Along with 1-ups in the game's 2 collectibles, the Wonder Seeds, which unlock new levels, and the multiplayer-focused standees, you can also buy some of Mario Wonder's badges. There are 3 separate kinds, with all of them having different effects. Boost badges are the variety you can buy at a Poplin's shop, and do exactly what the name suggests. These of course give you a helpful boost of some kind when equipped, like extra blocks to make stages easier, making enemies drop coins when they die, and a sensor for finding Wonder Flowers and purple 10 coins. Action badges give additional moves and abilities for Mario & Co., like a glide, a kick for faster movement in water, a boost for wall climbing, and so on and so forth. With the exception of the parachute cap that you get at around the beginning, these are all earned through special challenge levels. Every badge has an easy and hard challenge, but you only need to do one of them to actually unlock the badge itself. Unfortunately though, the expert badges are the ones I have the least to say about. There's 4 in total and they're unlocked the same way the action badges are. The problem though is with me having only found one of the 4, the most I can say about them is that they seem to serve as a way to make levels harder, like this one that makes Mario invisible. Honestly, the badges are something I really hope return in later games. They're made for fun rewards, and I love the added bit of customization they give for how you can play the game, and also how they, in a sense, let you customize the game's difficulty a bit. The new stuff, of course, doesn't stop there though. This time around, of the 4 normal power-ups, 3 of them are totally new. We of course have the fire flower like usual, but we also have the bubble flower, the drill mushroom, and the very heavily memed on elephant fruit. The bubble flower is a pretty simple one. Just like the fire flower, it helps you beat enemies, but instead of using fire, you blow bubbles that can trap enemies, which also nets you a gold coin in the process. Honestly, while this one's fun to use, it's definitely my least favorite of the three. It's just not quite as useful as the others are. The drill mushroom is similar to the spin drill from Mario Galaxy 2. This one lets you burrow into the floor as well as the ceiling for faster travel. It is of course also used for damage by drilling from beneath and into enemies as well as certain objects. Then there's my favorite one, the elephant fruit, and this one has easily the most benefits. It lets you attack with your trunk, spray water, it lets you lift heavier objects and push them faster, and much, much more. For as funny as it looks, the elephant fruit is definitely the most generally useful power-up in the game, and I love Nintendo for making this. The idea of turning Mario into an anthropomorphic elephant is such a silly idea, but it works so well. And on a similar note, can we talk about just how fantastic the level design is? Each one was a blast to play through, with every level having mechanics that made each one of them feel distinct from the other. You know what though, we can't talk about any of that without finally bringing up the Wonder Flowers, because they're incredibly well done. Barring the challenge and break time stages, each level has one of them, and when you touch one, literally anything at all could happen. The Wonder Flowers are a brilliant idea that takes a level and either brings its mechanics to their logical extreme, adds an entirely new element, does something weird and crazy, or all three at the same time. These sections end when you collect that flower's Wonder Seed, and let me tell ya, the Wonder effects very rarely repeat, and when they do, they usually still do something to make it feel kinda unique. The Wonder Flowers are also a big part of the reason why I find the game's emphasis on exploration more interesting. While I did enjoy finding and collecting the purple 10 coins, the Wonder sections are so fun I found myself really enjoying trying to find them. And I feel like if you had a timer, these wouldn't have worked nearly as well. But you know what feeling I get from all of this? I get the feeling that no matter how much fun I had playing through the levels, the devs clearly had way more fun making them. I mean, in one level involving piranha plants, the only thing the Wonder Flower does is make them break out into song and turn it into an auto-scroller. Similarly, in another level that involves Boos, the Wonder Flower triggers a chase sequence where you're chased by an opera-singing King Boo with the other enemies serving as backup singers. Like, I can't even begin to fully describe to you how much fun I had playing through Super Mario Wonder and how great of a time the devs clearly had making it. It's genuinely incredible how much creativity Nintendo's designers managed to cram in here. Which is unfortunately exactly why the boss fights are as jarring as they are. Honestly, I'm not even sure what happened here. Counting the final one, there are only 5 bosses in the entire game, and 4 of them are just Bowser Jr. with different Wonder mechanics each time. And while they are fun, it's still just Bowser Jr. With there being 7 worlds total, this also means 2 entire worlds don't have bosses, which I think might be a series first. The only thing you can maybe count as a boss is the airship factories, but those just have you pressing a single button to defeat them, so I hesitate to say that even counts. It's genuinely baffling to me how little variety there is with the boss fights this time around. Like with the Wonder Flower mechanic, there are so many things you could have done to turn even normal, basic enemies into fun and exciting bosses. I mean, heck, Kamek's here. As it stands, all he does is spawn the airship factories, so why not do something cool like wonderizing him into a buff wizard or whatever? This is actually the entire reason I think Super Mario Wonder is an almost perfect game, because beyond this, I genuinely don't have any other issues with it. And it's so weird that in a game like this, boss variety is a major issue. You know, if Nintendo can keep making 2D Mario games like this, I'll finally have a series of 2D platformers I can actually look forward to playing, because this was some of the most fun I've ever had with a game like this. I love that the story isn't about saving Princess Peach again, and that they actually made it feel like a proper adventure with all the extra bits of dialogue as well as story, and I loved how charming the presentation was. As always, the gameplay is the real star of the show here, and along with all of the new and very welcome changes, I adored the level design and how creative and weird it could get thanks to the Wonder Flowers. While I'll never understand why the bosses are handled the way they are, it by no means hurts the game enough that I have trouble recommending it to basically everybody. And hey, with the devs having apparently had over 2,000 different ideas for the game, maybe we can get a Super Mario Wonder 2 like we got a Galaxy 2? I'm just saying, after how great an experience this one was, I would totally buy that in a heartbeat. Until next time though, thank you all for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a nice day.